All right. Morning, everybody. It is 8:41. We overcame a couple technical glitches, but I think we are ready to call the meeting to order at 8:41. As everybody knows, the 12th Judicial Nominating Commission is meeting today to interview and appoint a district magistrate judge to replace the Honorable Brian Grace, who retired on October 1st of 2021. On behalf of the Kansas Judicial Branch and the Nominating Commission, we thank Judge Grace for his service, his commitment to the district, and all of the help he has provided to the citizens throughout that district and county. My name is Justice KJ Wall, and I am a non-voting chair of this nominating commission and a departmental justice for the 12th Judicial District. At this point, I think, Marcia, do you want to go ahead and take the official roll call?
Yes. Dana Brewer. Sorry, I need. Did I miss Dana?
I don't believe we've seen him today.
Curtis Frazier,
Present.
Jerry Harrison,
Present.
Dwight Daniels,
Present.
Carol Good,
Present.
Tanner Johnson, Dan Metz,
Present.
Bradley Lowell,
Present.
Daryl Miller,
Present.
Bruce Meyer,
Present.
Bill Navis,
Present.
and Roger Reitman.
Present.
So 10 of the 12 members.
Right, then we can declare a quorum. And with only a couple of people absent, I think we had gotten notice of that ahead of time. Just a reminder to everybody that today's meeting is open to the public under the Kansas Open Meetings Act. Notice of the meeting was provided, and that notice included instructions for the public to attend by phone for public comments and to watch the proceedings on YouTube live. I think we can move on to our first action item then on the agenda, which is the approval of our prior minutes. Everyone should have received a draft copy of the minutes from our January 22nd, August 20th, and September 27th meeting in 2001. Does anybody have any proposed edits or changes to those minutes? And if not, does anybody have a motion to approve them?
I move we approve. Kurt Frazier.
Second, Brad Lowell.
All right, does anybody have any further discussion on the minutes? All right, hearing none, all in favor, say aye.
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 Anyone opposed, say nay. Hearing no opposition, the motion unanimously passes and the minutes are approved. At this point, we open the meeting up for public comment. Is there any member of the public on the phone who wishes to speak at this moment? If so, please state your name. Hearing
And I
none, we
did not-
can.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear any pings on the line.
Thank you, Marcia. Hearing none, let's move on to our next item on the agenda. We have Chief District Judge Kim Cudney. We're happy to have her again today. As you know, Chief Cudney has served as the Chief Judge of the 12th Judicial District for almost 15 years. In this capacity, she's responsible for judicial administration and assignments throughout the district. She's uniquely positioned to inform us about the essential functions and duties of the magistrate judge vacancy, and she's kindly offered to take time from her busy schedule to talk to us about that today. So we appreciate your time, Chief, and with that, I'll turn the floor over to you.
Thank you, Chief Justice. I'm sorry, Justice Fall. Gave you a promo there for a minute.
Yeah, I'll take it for 20 seconds.
Good morning, everyone on the commission. I'm glad you're here this morning. It wasn't so long ago that you met, and you're together again today to select a magistrate judge for Lincoln County. It's a unique situation in that you have one candidate today that you are going to interview. And yet I participated in your last meeting and encouraged you to proceed with this interview. I think it's important that you get to know this individual, that the selection of the magistrate judge is often a long-standing decision, and this is an individual in your community that will serve for many years to come. Those of you who are members of the bar may be more familiar with the rules of judicial conduct than the lay members, but it never hurts for a little refresher. And just please keep in mind today, as you will consider the candidate, that our judges must all exercise independent judgment. They must be fair and impartial, and they must exercise integrity, both in the courtroom and in the community. The court considers that particularly our magistrate judges, who are the front line, generally the first judge that an individual sees, must present with knowledge and dignity, both in their profession and in their personal lives. So I encourage you, when you are asking questions, that those questions are directed in that manner. Again, justice for everyone who comes before the court is important, and particularly in our rural areas, they are often pro se, without counsel. They do not know what they are supposed to do, and they are looking for guidance from the court on how to work through the proceedings, whether that is a protection from abuse or a limited civil action, even some probate actions. So it is important that they feel confident and comfortable with the magistrate judge before them. It is not my position to encourage you to select any particular candidate, but I certainly have no qualms with the candidate before you today. And I don't have any further comments today, given that you have one candidate, only that I encourage you to get to know that candidate well. Thank you.
Thank you, Judge Cudney. We appreciate your time and that information, and it's always good to hear from your perspective on as we move through this process. So at this point, I think we will cut you loose from the Zoom meeting and let you put on your public hat for a while and watch as a member of the public. Thank you for your time. I don't know if Marcia or Winnie are there that can cut you loose, or you're free to just exit at this time too. Thank you. All right. Before we start our interviews, I thought I would ask members of the commission whether you want to discuss any of the confidential background check information. And if so, we should do that in executive session, given the confidential nature of that information. So you should have received that information prior to the meeting. And if you want to discuss it before the interview, let's do that in executive session, or if you think we're ready to proceed without discussion of those items, we can do that. But I wanted to put the ball in your court to see how you wanted to proceed with that information before we start the interviews. Does anybody feel strongly one way or the other as to whether we should go into executive session to discuss any of the background check information? Mr. Meyer, I see you move forward. I don't know if you were about to say something or.
I didn't see anything that we needed to at this point in time unless somebody else wanted to go in executive session. I didn't have any desire or need to.
Yeah, I'm not hearing anyone with a different viewpoint. If anyone feels differently, now's your time to voice it, or else I think we can go ahead and proceed with our interviews. Not hearing any objections, so let's go ahead and proceed. And we will have Ms. O'Hare come in and we can start the interview process.
Okay, I'm going to admit her now.
Thank you. I should have mentioned previously, I just get so used to it that I have Marcia Johnson, my judicial executive assistant, is here with us and is doing all the heavy lifting for our meeting, along with Winnie Kamada, who you don't see, but you saw previously as she was helping us get coordinated with the live broadcast. Morning, Ms. O'Hare.
Good morning.
How are you?
I'm good, thank you.
Well, we've gotten to the point in our agenda where we're ready to start the official interview. And I thought if you want to take a minute before anyone has questions directed at you to maybe give us a little bit of information about yourself and your interest in the position, why don't you go ahead and do that, and then we can open it up for questions.
Thank you. Good morning. My name is Jennifer O'Hare, and I'm an attorney, and I have been an attorney for over 20 years, and I have lived the majority of my professional life in Lincoln County. I am also married to Michael O'Hare, and I have 3 sons. I have served my community in many ways and have been the duly elected county attorney for over 20 years. I have had the privilege of working with many esteemed lawyers in this community, as well as in the 12th Judicial District and other districts. And I have also maintained my own practice. And through that practice, I have worked in all facets of the law that are applicable to the position of magistrate judge. And I have always been very diligent in the practice of law. I have certain beliefs in that I do believe that parties in legal proceedings have a right to be heard. And this extends to children that are involved in legal proceedings. I know that there has been changes to how we conduct hearings due to the pandemic, but I believe the right to be heard is an essential component of the impartial system of justice. And because of those beliefs, I have also served as guardian ad litem in many complex domestic cases, and I have assisted the parties in reaching appropriate resolutions through mediation and negotiation. I have worked very hard to maintain the public confidence in the office of the county attorney, and for over 2 decades. And I will do the same for the office of the magistrate judge in Lincoln County if I am selected today. I believe that I have the requisite ability and experience to apply the law and perform the duties of the judicial office fairly and impartially. To that end, I am requesting and have submitted an application to be appointed as the next district magistrate judge in Lincoln County. And I am open for any questions that anyone has. Thank you.
All right, I will let members of the commission go ahead and ask away and can continue with the interview of the candidate.
Jennifer, this is Bruce Meyer. I'm representative from Washington County.
Yes.
What do you think your greatest challenge you face if you're appointed to this position?
Well, I think the job by itself is just a challenge too. And I think doing so in a rural community also presents challenges when it's a very there's a kind of a personal connection when you're in a community such as this, when you see the people that you have to do things against or with in the community. And I have faced that for over 20 years. And I think taking the position seriously and continuing to learn and accepting that the law constantly changes and that you have to stay abreast of that would be the challenge that I believe that I would need to face if I was selected.
Thank you.
This is Carol Good. Many of the attorneys will know the answer to this question, but I, as a layperson, do not know the answer. Okay, you have been county attorney, and I am sure there are open cases. How will that transfer to when you become a judge, the magistrate judge, if you become the magistrate judge?
Well, I would not be able to prosecute those cases when I am selected and or appointed as district magistrate judge. So there would have to be a new county attorney selected by the Republican committee that would serve for the remainder of my term. If there were any conflicts that I had on any specific cases, there would have to be another judge appointed to hear those cases for a small period of time. And then I would be able to do everything.
Thank you.
Mhm.
Jennifer, this is Jerry Harrison.
Yes.
Are you interested in helping out the attorneys in the district through mediation as Judge Thompson is at this time?
Yes, I am. I had signed up to take the mediation course, but then the pandemic hit. And as you know, that kind of stopped everything that we had going on. I do believe that I have the experience necessary, but I would be open to taking whatever classes I needed in order to assist the district.
Thank you.
Jennifer, this is Dan Metz. I have a question off the bat here. You've provided to the committee one of the most thorough summaries of your career that I think we've seen, and we appreciate that, and I thank you for that. You have been not only the county attorney in Lincoln, but you've been a mother in Lincoln. You've been very active in activities of the community, and these have been prominent over the 20 years that you've been in Lincoln, or you were of course raised in Lincoln. I hate the comment I watched you grow up, because most people who watched me grow up are never around anymore. So we all watched you grow up if we lived in Lincoln County. How do you intend to reconcile your very active persona with activities within the county and your new position as magistrate judge of Lincoln County? And I'm going to preface that by saying you don't go into hiding because you are now the magistrate judge, but you do have a number of footprints in the community and community involvement. And I'm just wondering how you handle that.
Well, I think somewhat there's a natural transition to that, because two of my sons are now at college at Fort Hays, and my youngest is 16, and he is not as involved athletically, but more academically in things. So some of my involvement has been, and some of you know that I do a lot of concession stands. I believe that I'm a master at those. I've done concession stands. I do help with other booster clubs and things, and donate my time for the school and such, as I believe that's a worthy and worthwhile endeavor on my part. But I think the judicial rules are clear in that I can't do things in our community that's going to impact or otherwise hurt what I'm going to be doing if I'm appointed as district magistrate judge. That can't eclipse the job that I'm appointed to do. And so with that, there are certain things that I am pulling back on, but I will continue to be involved with the school as appropriate. However, headlining and or doing kind of some of the bigger projects will fall to my sisters, who some of you may know, and who are worthy and able to kind of take over that.
Thank you.
Several members have asked questions. Do we have additional questions for Ms. O'Hare? Mr. Miller, I saw you lean forward. Sometimes people just move. Sometimes that's a cue that you're going to ask a question. So.
No, I had muted my audio and I just moved forward to unmute.
Ms. O'Hare, maybe you could explain to the members and the public what it is about this position that attracts you to change from a very long-term position into the district magistrate role. What is it about that appeals to you?
Well, I think part of that is I've had the privilege of working with District Magistrate Judge Grace for 17 years. And some of you may know him. Some of you may have had to work with him or been in front of him and such, but he has truly been an inspiration and a mentor to me over the last 17 years. And being able to work with him and see him in that capacity and what he does on a daily day did provide some inspiration for me to make this transition. I will say that it was not without significant thought, as I have served my community in a certain way for a very long period of time. And I am very passionate about Lincoln County. I'm passionate about keeping people safe. I enjoy working with law enforcement, and I enjoy being a very active member of my community. So for me, it, again, was thought-provoking as to whether or not this was a step that I felt like was best for me and my family. However, with much thought and also talking to other individuals, I felt like my talents, my ability to practice, the things that I have cultivated over the 20 years of practice can transition into this position. And I believe that I was the best candidate for this job when I applied. I didn't know anybody else didn't apply, but I believe that I would have been the best candidate for it. And I would like to do it, and I think that I can.
Any other questions for Ms. O'Hare? I'm not hearing any. If you want to take 20 seconds or however a short period of time to sort of make any final remarks you'd like the members to hear, if you would like. Otherwise, we can proceed as well with the information you've provided. But now's your chance if you want to make any closing remarks to do so.
My only remark would be that I truly believe that I'm competent to do this job. And respectfully request that I be appointed to this position. I will take it seriously. I consider it a challenge, but I also believe that with my legal career and such, that I can do this county proud and the individuals that supported me for many years. And I would respectfully request that my application be approved and I be appointed. Thank you.
Thank you. And I'll give it one last shot. Does anybody else have any final questions before we let Ms. O'Hare move on? Hearing none, we thank you for your time and the application materials. I know it's a lot of information to pull together. So appreciate the detail and the work you put into that.
Thank you.
Thank
Do I
you.
log off now?
Yeah, you can exit off.
Perfect. Thank you.
Or Marcia or Winnie can remove you if they need to. So
All right. Thank you so much for your time.
thank you. Okay, now we kind of get down to the heart of the matter, so to speak. Given the situation that there's only one applicant, let's talk about how we want to do the voting. We didn't circulate the ballots this time because there was only one applicant. It made sense to me just to, put it to a vote and do a roll call on it. But it's your commission. We can do it however you want to. But that was my thought coming into it, is just doing a roll call, yay or nay on the appointment question for the loan applicant. What are your thoughts?
Sounds good to me.
Okay. Any objection to that approach?
No.
Okay. All right. I don't think we need to put that to motion. Marcia, do you want to go ahead and do a roll call vote on yay to appoint Ms. O'Hare as the district magistrate judge, nay if there is opposition?
Yes, I can do that.
Thank you, Marcia.
Brad Lowell,
Yay.
Dwight Daniels,
Nay.
and I apologize, but sometimes your yay and nay sound very similar. So can I say yes or no?
Yes.
Okay, so Dwight Daniels, yes. Dan Metz,
Yay with a Y. Yay.
Kurt Frazier,
Yes. Yes.
Bruce Meyer,
Yes.
Carol Good,
Yes.
Daryl Miller,
Yes.
Jerry Harrison,
Yes.
Bill Navis,
Yes.
Roger Reitmeyer.
Yes.
I have 10 yeses.
Right. And no opposition. So the motion carries unanimously and Ms. O'Hare will be appointed. I think, do we want to designate one person on the commission to reach out to her and communicate that news? Is there anybody that maybe knows her in particular that would like to convey the information? Although I'm sure she's already watching and may know, but
I think it would be appropriate if Dan Metz called Jennifer or Miss O'Hare.
I bet he has her number.
Yes. Yay. I do. And I appreciate the honor. Thank you.
Great. Thank you for doing that. Sometimes it lines up okay. We did a lot of work to try and circulate the notice and didn't necessarily get the response we got, but the response we did get was highly qualified. So that's great. I think it worked out well in that regard. I don't want to take any more of your day than necessary, but are there any additional matters or new business items that we need to talk about before we adjourn? I don't hear any. I just feel like this is one of the easiest nominating commissions that I've seen or been part of. So I really do appreciate it. I say it every time, but I know it's a lot of work and planning and take coordination to do this. And the pay's not so great, right? But we really do appreciate the time and the work you put into it, because it makes a significant difference and it matters. And just know that your efforts are really appreciated. And hearing no other business, do we have a motion to adjourn at 9:11?
I so move.
Thank you. Is there a second?
I second.
Thank you. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed, say no. Hearing none, we are adjourned and the meeting concludes at 9:11. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes.